Friends, I just finished Donnie Darko, and it was a wild ride. I mean, from the story, which we're going to get into, to the score, the cinematography, it was really, really a cool film. I thought that the score was a cool mix of like 80s new wave and synth and this operatic soundtrack and some of the dramatic parts. It's a soundtrack I wouldn't mind owning, but the film, it's like in the run up to the 88 presidential election between Bush and Dukakis, Donnie Darko, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, is experiencing what I'd say is existential dread in the form of a hallucinogenic bunny, homicidal bunny. If you haven't seen the film, I mean, the description of it just sounds completely insane. But he's experiencing dread, and it takes the form of supposed mental illness. But I think the filmmaker wants us to look back at society and the politics of the era and see that the society was what was maladjusted or disadjusted. I think the film is meta, it's very political, it's otherworldly, it's so many things, but I think it's a commentary film about society at large. And who are the weirdos and who are the kooks? Was Donnie Darko the weirdo? Or were his family, who were kind of the representatives of society, were they the weirdos? And it leaves the question up to you. But in that vein, it's really an abstract art piece, and you put your own life experience into it to glean a lot of the meaning. But it's really punk rock. Drew Barrymore's production company, Flower Films, produced it, which is interesting because they produce a lot of female-centric feminist films. In one vein, this film is about Roberta Sparrow, who is an astrophysicist at the end of her life. Somebody who was, outrageously genius in her prime, who contributed to the field of astrophysics. Someone who is intelligent just the same way that Donnie Darko is. And he's able to see her at the end of her life being the ridicule of the town, being the butt of jokes. And so his paranoia, his existential dread is actually justified. He's got therapists telling him, oh no, everything is wonderful, everything is going to be okay. But he's got a front row seat to see a person like Roberta Sparrow, who, is like him in many ways, being cast out into the dregs of society, nobody writing them, nobody, caring about them. And he's got a similar type A personality like hers, which is kind of interesting. I thought Drew Barrymore was just stunning. If you've seen this film recently, Drew Barrymore was so beautiful in this film and so intelligent and so witty. I wish she had done more roles like she played in this film as the teacher. It plays like a modern Hitchcock film, with Donnie Darko again playing this like compelling type A protagonist. It also plays like a Boy Interrupted, with this maladjusted teen who is, as the film goes on, you feel like he's more and more sane and sentient, and the society around him becomes the nonsense, becomes the noise. It's enough. I think the film is a judgment or a commentary about capitalism and Western society. It asks, who are the weirdos, at the end of the day. But I just thought it was wild. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. You're gripped the whole time wondering what's going to happen. What is this film leading up to? And, now that we understand that election paranoia is a real thing, I think a lot of different things were conspiring together. I think the news cycle and the media were contributing to the young man's paranoia. He was coming into or growing up into kind of modern society with this 24-hour drumbeat news cycle. And a lot of the things that we're now recognizing are super unhealthy and super denigrating to, us as humans. But then, they didn't have words and names for some of these things. But it was just a wild, wild film with exceptional actors. It was truly an ensemble cast. What the film is truly about, you guys tell me. Anybody who's a fan of this, tell me what is your interpretation or what your experience with this film is. Because I have, so many different ideas about the film kind of being a commentary about the upcoming election and the society possibly making the wrong decision and voting for Bush versus Dukakis, and the existential dread that brought to Donnie Darko, being a sane and sentient person in society. The commentary about Roberta Sparrow being at the end of her life and communicating messages to him about existentialism, about time travel. There's so many interesting artistic things about the film, but it still leaves you, confused at the end. But I loved it. It was a wild punk rock experience. Tell me in the comments below what is your favorite part of Donnie Darko? Who are your favorite characters? And until next time, who are the weirdos? Who are the kooks, All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.